everybody, I am so glad you're with me for this video because it is my goal to make this video the most beginner, most basic level eye tutorial I've ever seen on YouTube, because I get so many questions about, can you just do something on which brushes to use, or just basic eyeshadow application, or I'm going to school and I'm going to be wearing makeup for the first time this year, how do I do it? And I mean, this is applicable for all age levels, all ability levels, because this is going to be basic eyeshadow application, how to put it on, but also why we do the things that we do with eyeshadow. It'll help you understand it and, not just know how to use the palette I happen to use in this video, but take those quads and those trios that you might have stashed in your drawer and help you better understand how to use other shadows as well. It's not just going to be how to put it on your eye, but how to pick it up right out of the palette. I mean, I'm talking detailed descriptions, nothing is left out, nothing is glossed over. Of course, there are tons of shadows, tons of combinations, tons of different looks you can come up with your own creativity. I mean, you can do smoky eyes, you can do bright colored eyes, and things like that. In this video, I am using my Sigma Bear palette. I thought this is a great palette that gives you some matte options, so you can really tell what I'm doing with this look. It'll show up nicely on camera, and so if you do have this one, feel free to follow along with these exact colors. Otherwise, just use something similar, or even, just varying tones of any colors you like. So if you want to see how it all comes together, keep watching. We're going to begin with a matte shade here called Elope. I'm going to be using a flat eyeshadow brush like this. Take that shade, and we're just going to use a patting motion with this. Just patting that onto the inner part of our lid. That gives you a really dense application of the product. Using a light shade there really brightens this part of the eye and opens it up. So it's a great place to put any light shade you have in the palette you're using. Using that same brush, I'm going to a shade called Hitch. Deep to medium color brown, and it is also matte. We're patting it on the outer part of the eyelid and just kind of overlapping. If you're doing any, sort of an outer V or deepening up the shade in the outer corner, I mean, you'll find this really will work in with any crease color you put in, so it won't be such a stark contrast. Then you can use that same brush and the same color, and we really want to target the deepest shade right in our crease. I've got shadow kind of on the tip of this brush, and I'm using this brush almost like a wedge to really get to, as you can see, the deepest part of the crease. We want our deepest color to be there, and then we want it to kind of fade out from that. Pulling the brush up, really getting that darkest shade right there in the crease. Using a fluffier Bear brush, I'm just going to blend that out. This would be, kind of just a supernatural look that we could go with. We could end there. I am going to apply a highlight. I'm going to use the shade called Approach. This one has just a touch of maybe a pearly color to it. Just take that right under your eyebrow. We're going to deepen it up just a little bit to show you what to do with the outer corner. This was the brush we were using, sort of that flat brush to pack the shadow on. I'm using an even flatter brush now. This one's a little bit smaller, you have a little more control with it, and you can really target where that deepest product's going to go. So we're going to go right into this with some matte black, the shade called Control here, and just get a little bit on the tip of the brush, and then I'm going to sort of overlap the outermost corner of this look with that shade. I'm putting it on the lid, I'm getting it in the crease, and I'm kind of just pulling it out just a bit. You've kind of got to let yourself apply that shadow, even though you think, oh, well, this doesn't look blended yet, oh my goodness. You've got to just kind of go ahead and put it on there and realize, okay, I can go back and blend this out some more, but I've got to get the shadow right where I want it first. And we just take our fluffy brush, blend it out. A pencil brush is another good thing to have. With this particular palette, it comes with a double-ended pencil brush and this great crease brush also that can work for, getting just that soft wash of color in the crease. There's nothing on it right now, but I'm just saying you can use that for your crease area too. But I'm going to use the pencil part of this brush going into the black, just dipping it straight in. And you can totally use shadows as liner too. What I'm doing here, I'm taking off from where we left off there, and just really smudging it. Then you get this nice soft look. As you're kind of looking at your finished shadow look, you know, sometimes I'll go in and I'll reassess. I'll look at what's going on and say, what do I need more of? I like this shade called Hitch. Remember, this was our initial shade that we kind of put in our crease and on our outer half of our lid. Taking this, you know, a slightly smaller crease brush and just popping a little bit more of that right in here. You know, if you just want that little more intensity or a little more blended look. Obviously there are lots of forms of eyeliner you can use, but a lot of people struggle with liquid liner. That's what I get a lot of questions about. If you can find something in sort of a pen form, you'll find you have a lot more control. This one's called the Eye Booster. I hold it, you know, right about in the middle, so I've got some room to work and see what I'm doing. I start in the inner corner. I'm aiming not so much on the skin, but I'm kind of aiming for the inner corner when I start here, so it looks very natural, like there's not some kind of jump off or starting point that anyone could detect. What I will sometimes do is take my liquid liner, draw it straight across. See how there's a little gap there? And then I just fill that in. You know, it's okay to not have the perfect line the first time, but you can go back in and straighten it out and fill it in, and then really get in close. Get right in between those lashes. I'm going to go from the highest point, and instead of drawing down, I'm going to go straight out. Okay, so I went kind of a line out as opposed to doop down, and then I'm going to come out from the lower corner of my eye. Bring that out, fill in your little triangle, and you've got just the slightest wing there. So fine, you can kind of just get a little bit of a start going on lower liner. If that's something you want to do, you don't have to. But as you can see, I can really get in there and get close to the lash line with this very pointed tip. Then after that, you can take your pencil brush, take some more of the black shadow, and just kind of go over that area, and it'll look like there's less of an edge. Next up, take your eyelash curler. I'm going to curl my lashes, 5 to 10 second squeeze at one part, like closest to the base. And then, you know, release and sort of move it up just a little bit. And then you're going to get more of a curve as opposed to just a single crimp. I'm going to be using L'Oreal Voluminous Carbon Black for this look. Start as close to the actual lash line as possible. Wiggle. And then pull through. And then sometimes if you're trying to get these inner lashes, you kind of just go in with the tip. On my lower lashes, I'm using a mascara with a very small brush and one that I find doesn't smudge on me at all down there. And this is Maybelline Lash Discovery. So it's great for getting, you know, these areas, and I do the same sort of technique. I get it right into the base and wiggle it on through. So I hope this video helped you. Again, feel free to grab any eyeshadow palette you have, take a look at it and think, how might I use this? You know, light shades on the lids and on, you know, the highlight. Medium shades can go like outer half of the eyelid, and then deeper shades for this lifted outer corner look. You can definitely use shadows as liner, and you can definitely switch around any of those steps I gave you, going very dark next to the eye, giving yourself a smoky look. So it's all about creativity. I urge you to experiment, but this look is just meant to give you some basic ideas where brushes are concerned and different shades are concerned, how to give you a basic eye look. Thank you so much for watching, and have a great day.